Well, guys, I was working on setting up a little extra microphone over here. I don't know if you can see that. And hopefully that'll make the sound a little bit better. And let's see, we got Joe on here today. And Joe, what we're doing is we're continuing on writing a synth song. It's going to be a number of different episodes. And we started last time with just a kind of a basic drum beat. Let's see. So we laid down just a basic drum track, and the reason for this was just to kind of basically have a metronome, and we could use the metronome, but I kind of like just going with this. So I'll move it down maybe a notch or two in volume. Then we had some suggestions from the see how this works. Maybe an octave, move it up an octave. So let's throw a bass line in there. So that might be kind of fun. I'm not sure what to use. So you know what? I'm just going to do single notes. There's two ways we can do this. We could just play it in, or we could just, it might actually be easier. We're going to take the bass root of all these. We're going to remove everything but the bass. Now I've zoomed this up a little bit. Before it was really hard to see, but I know it's still hard to see, but it's better. And then I want to make sure that these extend all the way through, because I'm just going to throw an arpeggio on here. But you can do those manually, or when you create the arpeggio, you can bump it over to MIDI and alter some of the notes, which is always a good way to go. But I'm not going to do that now. First of all, we're probably going to need another voice. Our speed is about 129. I don't even want to speed it up, but for now, let's see what this is like. You really can't hear it. So let's turn off the main keys. I'm going to call this keys. And then this is, I don't know, bass ARP. It's really not, I don't know if it's really ARP, but I want it to be a repeating rhythm. So I could stick with Arturia, and we could pick a bass line. What we might want to do is turn off this arpeggio and see what's built in here. But and kind of the bass that you choose. There's a lot going on here. So these are really cool if they sustain, and we might use that. You don't want to use too many basses, because it just starts to make the low end just really muddy, and that's not quite what I'm going for yet, although we could do that. So let's see what this arpeggiator is doing, and we'll just assume that what we're doing is a single note. Yeah, so there's nothing there. There's a number of we don't want chords. I mean, you can literally start with a simple, no, not chords. In fact, oddly enough, this is not really showing. This is going to be good. Actually, that's pretty darn cool. I kind of had more of a dance feel in mind, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the synth right there. I like how it's got a modulation that opens up the cutoff, which means it starts kind of muffled and kind of opens up, and it probably comes back down, right? I don't know. This happens sometimes. I like what we've got going here, but I kind of want to move on to a second option of that, because I was really looking at something more punchy. So let's go ahead and go with the same ARP pattern, but let's just go through them. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a little more punchy, a little more FM kind of. basic mix items. That's fine. So let's continue on. I kind of like that. Let's drop it an octave. I think I'm going to leave it up high. And Sean Kelly likes... now that Sean Kelly's here also, he says he likes the FM bass. You know, I checked back here. Let's go back to the FM, right? I'm going to leave this one bass arp. This is more of a legato, the worst one, legato. And, you know, you can switch bass. You can switch the basses in the song in different sections, or you can give more emphasis to one versus the other. But let's see how this one sounds back. Let's go find that one we had, right? Well, it was metal. I wonder if we can go lower. Or if I want some more sub to it, or some low end. It's just not feeling... Yeah, that just loses it. So we can go in here and kind of... holds on a little bit to it, but I feel like I'm not as familiar with this one, so I'm kind of looking at the SDR to make it a little more punchy and cut off. Oh, it's the sustain level. That wasn't really what we were looking for. Let's go with that. And then later on, you know, you have this. Or you switch back and forth. Well, this is a good riff right here. Now I'm going to kind of bring this, I'm going to close this window. We got a lot of extra stuff. For the time being, this was a clap. The clap was not good, but I wonder what it sounds like when we turn on those other things. And then what I'm going to do right now, just to kind of, we like the keys one, and I'm going to hold off on this other ARP that I was working on. I'll hold off on the other ARP that we were working on. I was facing the wrong way. I'm supposed to be facing over here so you can hear me. And that will give us a little bit more. Let's see. Let's just start with... Nah, you gotta start with a kick, right? Maybe. I guess we gotta start with this, right? We started in D minor, and that was Kellen's suggestion. And D minor is not usually where I start because it's a little bit low in my register. A minor works well, and of course A minor is really easy to write for because you basically cut out the black keys. Yeah, so I'm not crazy about the clap, but we could add it. let's see how it would sound with. Well, it's starting to get a little repetitive, and you got to figure out what's going to work for a melody. And if you don't have that element, it's probably not going to completely come together. I mean, you do start with a repeating pattern. That's a great way. Maybe not always. Well, the kick always kind of helps at the beginning, but what if we had something really light? And I'm gonna switch. I've been using the Arturia. A lot of times my go-to, believe it or not, is a Synth Master. I a few years back, I actually came in third for the global songwriting contest, and I got all the expansions and both Synthmaster 1 and Synthmaster 2, and that was really cool. And again, I shared this before. There's nothing better than a pre-built-in sequence for a song you already know. There's also, if you use Synthmaster 1, I believe they have the bass line for the Stranger Things. But anyway, so kind of what we're looking for, so maybe something to start off the song, something a little more like a pad. So if that's the case, maybe I'm going to pick pads and kind of pick that out. And then, okay, and some of these have arpeggios or sequences built in, and some of them don't. I want to avoid the sequences and go straight to the pads. That kind of thing. So, and for the purposes of our song here, that's a good rhythm. I think we'll use that for later. I use that on another song I'm trying to think of, and I know, or one similar. It's kind of like that strumming of a kind of almost a muted kind of picking or strumming of a guitar. Kind of gives it a little forward motion. So with that, I'm actually going to say, what do we call this? Arp. It's really not strum, but I'm going to call it that. But I'm also going to duplicate this. We can come back to that sound. But I'm also going to come in and come back to this, and we were there, but that one was nice. Kind of a... That's a lot of extra noise, and the purpose of this song is not to go into a lot of sound design. I think picking sounds is just like a really huge important thing. But again, wouldn't that be a great introduction? A little slow. Feel like I'm not seeing any. And guys, chime in because I'm kind of taking some of your suggestions. So let's go ahead and extend. I'm going to move this over here for a second. I'm going to extend this out maybe to 9. I'm going to go ahead and extend out the drums here to 9 so we can do a longer repeat. Sound good? Oh, moved the wrong one. Got to find the Synth master. Well, we've already chosen a sound, so I can drop out of that. If you want to see it show up as we play it, that might be kind of fun. And I gotta come back here. All right, so is this gonna work? Now I forget which one was the actual strum. This is the pad, so we need to say pad. And we kind of want it to be the beginning pad, right? But I want to kind of create a little bit of mood. Sometimes when I listen to a loop over and over, at first it sounds cool, but it just, about an hour and a half into it, it's kind of like I lose all emotion about it. And quite honestly, so does the dog who's sitting next to me, or the family listening in the other room, or anything like that. So you just kind of just lose it. So creating some dynamic in a song is really important. So instead of, I kind of like this chord progression. We're going to need more chords. Or I feel like I might need more chords to create more dynamics within the song. I like to have an A part and a B part, meaning A part is kind of one thing, and the B might change out either bass line, it might change out chords. It might remain very similar and yet have a different melody. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. But let's hopefully. That's pretty good, but the timing's a little off. When it's a pad like this, well, that really holds on too. When it's a pad like this, you kind of look. I actually sometimes pads need to be hit a little early because they take so long to build in. I mean, you could change the attack of a pad. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of moving these over. And then we've got an extra measure here. I'm going to bring that back. Oops. I'm going to bring that back there a little bit. But let's see what this sounds like. It does have a lot of sustain, and I think it kind of rolls over the other. So, this is where it comes to knowing your synthesizer. There's some of the same items in every synth, but they treat them differently. Before I had knobs. Sometimes I do like knobs on this point, but okay, we're using pad 2013, and let's just let it run. And I'm going to make some adjustments. Or actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there and I'm going to come back. And it's the release time. This has two layers, so I've adjusted one. I want to adjust the sustain as release time. And it's pretty loud, so we're going to bring it back. So what would sound kind of cool in the whole thing here is if you back up a little bit. And let's close this for a moment. Let's not start with the drums. We're going to move this repeating riff maybe here. And let's let it sit for a measure. Right? Open this up a little bit. And then we're going to start that drum beat. Quite there, although that does have a cool sound. So we're gonna move this out here, and then we're gonna, this is down here, we're gonna open that up and see what happens. So I like that. Let's extend that out a little bit. We're gonna just use the same rhythm, kind of building on this. So I'm gonna see other I want to see other instruments come in, and probably with this pad. Why don't we just mess around with it a little bit, let it run a couple runs, and see what happens. It's a good introduction. I can hear some bells or a little bit of movement underneath that, but we'll have to find that. Let me show you a cool feature of Logic. Now, what I just played, now I don't remember what I played, and so it's lost and it's gone forever unless you're smart. No, you're not smart, but it has like a capture of what you just played, just in case you forgot to press record. So let's check that out. Bam! Is that awesome? That's pretty dang cool. And then I don't know about the rhythms here. Well, let's select all quarter. Now, because it's a pad, again, you don't always need to be right on. You do want to quantize it. Yeah. I guess you could go back and humanize it later. See how this sounds. Kind of feel like that could be a different sound, honestly. Oops, don't want to mess them all up. And I also feel like there might be missing something here. So let's listen to that. Now, we're gonna start here. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm thinking. So I played some in, but I know it's missing something, right? So I wonder how that works. Let's find out. And like I said, maybe it could be more of a stream. I like this that it's got kind of a haunting sound, but at the same time, it is very muffled. This is Pad 2013, but I'm like, let's just let it play and choose another sound. What about that one that was really annoying? I think that's it. It's just too much. It's getting me. Let's. Okay, let's come back. I don't feel like that was playing what I wrote. Remember, oh, it is. I missed this. So what if we did... I don't think a short version of this is really gonna help, but let's try it. That to hang out longer. Now that they're kind of sound, you want to kind of extend that a little bit. I think this is kind of cool. This is kind of a Depeche Mode type of thing, but it works. Yeah, opening up I'm seeing your guys's notes, and yeah, it happens to a lot of us. We play something and then we're like, because you got to play it sometimes. I mean, just recording it over and over. Although Logic has a great feature, which I'll show you next. Maybe the next time next track that we do, has a good feature of what they call takes. It has it for vocals, which is really helpful, but it also has it for tracks. And you can play one track and then you can play it again, and then it just adds to it. And then you can go back and choose which ones you want, or mix and match parts of those tracks. But this is kind of cool. Let's close this. I think we're getting close to At the end here, I'm going to bring this back. I hear a hi-hat coming in there because you're building. That's that kind of part of the dynamics of things, right? And actually, I like to kind of come in, not right on, but come in a little bit early. Well, we could do that, I guess. So let's, it might be a little early to do that, but with this, I'm just going to kind of choose the very last couple and then bring her back over. Let's see. Well, that doesn't help. Boom. Ba 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 da ba ba ba. So again, guys, I'm going to just kind of reach over and say, hey, thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you later. Hope you guys can join in. Maybe tell some friends.